Photogenic is more than just a makeup channel. It's a place where you can be inspired and uplifted. It's full of love and acceptance, meeting you right where you are. At Photogenic, we work on your outer beauty by focusing on your inner beauty. Let's go get beautiful together. Welcome back to Photogenic, where we work on your outer beauty by focusing on your inner beauty. How are you guys doing today? First, let's start with our affirmation. This one, it's one. Hi, elevation. We cannot have a video without an affirmation. This one is one you have probably heard your entire life. Don't sweat the small stuff. Seriously, look at the big picture. There's a lot of steps that lead up to the big picture, and not sweating the small stuff will help you get there quicker. So if something goes wrong and it's really small, nobody's gonna notice. Let it roll off, pivot, do a different plan. So don't sweat the small stuff. Today's video is different. I have not done one of these yet, but I've had a lot of requests for them. It is hair. We're working on hair today, y'all. If you didn't know, I actually cut my hair myself. Shockingly enough, yes, and I successfully did it as well. I'm gonna attempt to cut my own hair. This could be a disaster, but I watched a YouTube video, so it should be fine, right? Hey, there's no turning back now. But we're not working on cutting hair today. We're working on styling hair. And this tip goes with whatever length of hair that you have. The only difference would be you may want to get a different size curling iron for what we're gonna do. But this is my typical hairstyle, my go-to when I feel like actually doing my hair and looking pretty. What you're gonna need: a scrunchie, brush, curling iron. This Tony & Guy curling iron I've had for like 12 years now. Yeah, I love it so much, and I am not a fan of the wands, the curling wands. I like my clamp. You know, honestly, I love my clamp, but to each their own. If you're more comfortable with a different one, feel free to use a different one. This is just my personal preference. To get started, we're gonna heat up our curling iron, but we don't need to go super hot. There's a huge misconception with I need to put it on the highest setting to get the best curl. And that's just not true, especially for color treated hair. The hotter you go, the quicker that color is gonna leave your hair. I know, shocking, you learn something new every day. But you wanna stay below 300. So my setting is on 280. That way you don't burn your hair, the color stays a little bit longer in your hair, and it's just all around safer on your hair. Get started, we're gonna take our scrunchie. That did not, there we go. That did not work how I wanted it to work. And I have a lot of hair, but it's very fine and thin. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna section it off. And I like to go right above my ears for the first section, so that way we have a tiny little bit here, okay? I'm gonna take our scrunchie, or if you have a clip, clips work a lot better, but my daughter has lost all of my clips, so I have to buy new ones. So today, we're getting a scrunchie. So that's all we do. And my hair is super clean, so we're gonna start off with some hairspray. Currently, I'm using some Aussie Hair Spray, Mega Hair, because it's found in stores and I can get it readily available because we live in a bus. So what I like to do is shake it up and just spritz a little bit because my hair is really, really clean. Spritz a little bit. I like to start with very small sections. So I'll curl this one little piece right here. And the important part of this hairstyle is leaving about an inch to a little bit less than an inch of the tip out, just like this. The reason being is because when it curls, we want it to be like a straight curl at the end. That's what makes this hairstyle kind of its signature. So I'm gonna go to the next piece. Same thing, I'm gonna leave a little bit out because we want that straight piece on the tip. Just like that. And I'll take it and kind of bend it a little and stretch it out. Same thing, next little bit. If your hair is thicker, you may have to do more than 3 layers around your head. Mine is not as thick, so I don't have to do as many layers. All right, so I'm just curling the last piece on this side. All right, so we have got all of the bottom layer done. What we're going to do now is go to the next layer. So don't let go of your hair completely, but see how we've got a couple inches right here? We're gonna part it right in half and pull down some hair. Same thing on the other side and in the back. Then, this is our last layer up here. We are going to put it on up. Take my hairspray, get this clean hair dirty. Dirty hair always curls better than clean hair. Like I said, I like to take very small amounts. It does take longer, but you get a much better curl. And I'm leaving this little piece out. You can't really see it, it's on the other side. Leaving my tiny little piece out for those straight ends. And look at that curl. And then I'm waiting to curl the rest of this side. Right, so if you guys notice, I like to work from one side and go all the way around. That way it keeps me on track and I don't forget any pieces. So I'm just waiting on this one to curl, and then we're gonna bring the last layer down. It really doesn't take a long time once you get the hang of it. So I'm taking my hairspray and setting in those curls. Now we're gonna pull that top layer down. And I like to save this part right here for last. So that way I can piece it out the way I want it. What we're gonna do, let's get this hair dirty. The reason why I take small pieces is because it's easier to curl. And then I'll pause for a couple seconds as I put it on and slide it down. Then I'll twist it up. This way I'm utilizing the entire barrel of the curling iron. If you just wrap it up in the same spot without wrapping diagonally, what's gonna happen is you're not gonna get by your roots curled at all. And you want it to be a full curl. And what I'm doing is I'm doing the same thing, I'm working my way around. Now if you can do smaller pieces, if you have the patience for it, I highly recommend it, only because you're gonna get a much better curl and your curls aren't going to be limp. A lot of people just want to curl it all in one shot, and it just does not curl right and it won't hold and look good. So the smaller your pieces, the better hold you're gonna have. Your back of your head is important too. If you need to, don't be afraid to put a mirror back there and show yourself what it looks like. I've been doing this so long, I don't use a mirror. What you'll do is you'll just put your mirror back here, and then you can see how it's curling. So as you can tell, the pieces around my face I like to keep very thin because we want the curls to be close to your face. Slide it down and see how I'm utilizing all of the barrel. It starts down here and wraps all the way up to the top. This is gonna give you maximum curlage. Curlage, it's a word. Not really, but I just made it up. We get that one, see how good it's looking? And I promise when you're not talking to a camera and trying to explain step by step what you're doing, it goes by a lot faster. Spray this round. We're gonna pull it out of the scrunchie. And this is that last little bit that, if you can see, it's we're gonna part it out where we want the curls to fall. So what I like to do is take the back portion. I'm going to separate this one in half because it is just too large. And I know that it takes quite a bit of time to do this, but it's gonna look a lot better if you do it the right way as opposed to just rushing through trying to get some curls in. I'm gonna curl that. A lot of people tend to neglect the back curls, but if you don't curl those properly, they're gonna look funky in the back, and we don't wanna do that. What I'll do for the rest of this is I'm gonna split it in half down the middle. So now I've got this side and that side. We're gonna split this down the middle. I'm gonna work with this one right here. And we're gonna do the same thing. It's a thinner piece. Pull it out till an inch. And you're wrapping at a diagonal so we can utilize that whole barrel. I think this curling iron, when I bought it like 12 years ago, was like $9.99 at Walmart. And it has lasted amazing. It's okay, don't worry about necessarily where you part your hair. We'll be able to flip it around at the end. This side, I'm gonna do the same thing. We're gonna take this and split it down the middle. Last piece, thank goodness. All right, so here is all of our curls. We're gonna spray it one more time. And no, we're not finished. You're not gonna look like Medusa, but I'm gonna let this sit for about 5 to 10 minutes so the curls really have time to stay curled. Be right back. All right, we have let this sit for about 5-ish minutes, did some stuff around the house before I threw my clothes on, and so now it's time to make it look better. I'm gonna use these little things called fingers, and I'm just gonna run my hands through it gently. Not like yanking, just very gently breaking up the curls. You can also use like a pick if you have a pick, but our wonderful dog Kevin chewed up my pick and I just haven't replaced it yet. Just get it combed out just a little bit, enough to where you want it. And this is good for me. I love it. It will fall a little bit so it won't be as crazy. But it's curled, it's cute, it's fun. I'm gonna take my hairspray and do one more swoop. And that, my friends, is how you do Jen hair. Quickly, with a curling iron, minimal stuff required, and it looks really good, like you put a lot of effort into your day. That is it for this edition of Photogenic. For our affirmation, don't sweat the small stuff. Yes, it's something that you have heard your entire life, but it's so true. Don't sweat the small stuff. Just let it roll off. Focus on the big picture. There's a lot of steps to get to the big picture, so don't lose sight of that by the small things. At Photogenic, we work on your outer beauty by focusing on your inner beauty. See you next time.